There are also voices now growing louder in Balochistan against the oppression by the Pakistani army over there. Going across to Abdul Bugti, representative of the Balochistan Republican Party, who's joining us now via Skype. Mr. Bugti, thank you so much for joining us. We are seeing now a louder voice from across the world for people for Balochistan who are protesting against this kind of oppression. What is happening right now in Balochistan? We've been reading a bit about Operation Dera Bugti as well.
Yeah, that's true. Currently, an operation is going on in Dera Bugti region, which is my hometown, and from last 2 days, 20 people have been killed and more than 30 people have been abducted, and that is something that has been going on for years now. Like, it is a part of daily routine by the Pakistani forces to attack civilians in Balochistan, bombard them with gunship helicopters and arrest them in mass numbers and take them into custody, and we never hear about them again.
You think it's time that the global community, Abdul Bugti, comes together now? Even, the Indian government, the Indian Prime Minister has raised the issue of Balochistan, for the people of Balochistan, that this is something that the global community must take cognizance of now and do something.
Yeah, of course, that is a very welcome step by the Prime Minister of India, and we really appreciate that step. I think that should have been done a long time ago. Like, we are working on international level to highlight our plight, that what Pakistani forces are doing there in Balochistan, human rights violations, enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings. They are just part of everyday life in Balochistan, and Baloch people are suffering since 1948. I think it is a very welcome step that India has taken up the issue and now ready to talk about Balochistan as well.
And so many of you who've been driven from your own homes, and forced to take refuge in other countries because it's completely impossible, the kind of human rights violations that we see every day in that region.
Yeah, that's true. Many hundreds of people have been they migrated into European countries, and let me tell you this as well. After the military operation in 2006, more than 100,000 people were displaced, and 10,000 of them are living in miserable condition in Afghanistan. Nobody is caring for them. Human rights organizations, refugee organizations, all of them just ignore them. We want the world to know that there's a very, very serious conflict going on in Balochistan, and people are demanding their rights. In response, they are getting mutilated dead bodies, they are being displaced from their homes, their houses are being bombed, and that's what is going on.
What has been the stand and the attitude of the Nawaz Sharif government, if you try and talk to them, if activists raise their voice? Is it just the presence of Pakistani army? Do they have complete backing of the government also?
I think many people know that. Let me tell you again that in Balochistan the government never changes. Maybe the faces that comes to media and other places, they change, but in real, there is a military government in Balochistan since 1948, when Balochistan was occupied. So it doesn't matter who is in the power in Islamabad. So it is the same for us.
And are you seeing a rise in the kind of atrocities, the extrajudicial killings? Every year we read these reports of global platforms like Amnesty and Human Rights Watch. It just looks like the number of these executions is on the rise there.
Yeah, that's true. I think in past 1 decade only, more than 20,000 people were killed after being abducted and tortured to death by Pakistani forces. And their bodies are turning up every day on roadsides, on deserted places, everywhere. So whether or not it's a democratic, so-called democratic government in Islamabad or not, it is military rule in Balochistan, and we invite the international media. It is a very good thing that Indian media is now taking up the things, but I think Indian media and other international media and human rights organizations should themselves visit Balochistan and ask the government of Pakistan to allow them, because Balochistan is literally a no-go zone for people to go. And I think international media should highlight this issue, that if Pakistan doesn't allow them to visit places like Balochistan, they should tell the world that what is going on in there, like what are you hiding from us, if everything is all right, which is not. And I think this is a very serious thing you should take up.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and I agree with you. We hope that your voice is heard, that the global community actually now comes together And India is going to do that. We've been highlighting the kind of oppression and the atrocities, not just in Balochistan, also in Gilgit-Baltistan, that is being done by the Pakistani army. We hope the global community takes note and does something and supports you. India is, of course, with Balochistan. Thank you so much, Abdul Bugti, for joining us. Well, today we are also showing you fresh visuals that have emerged from Gilgit.